Hi everyone, it's Vanessa, your homeschool narrowboat teacher here. Today we're on a long journey. We're leaving Aylesbury Marina and we're going down the Aylesbury Arm. We've got about 14 locks to do. It's very exciting. So before we complete the 14 locks and the whole of the Aylesbury Arm, I'm going to find a place to moor, have a cup of tea and then get started with today's lesson, which is how to identify an adverb. So come on everyone, it's time for your right to learn. Hello everyone, this lesson is all about how to identify an adverb. This comes as the fourth grammar lesson that we have had about word classes. So far we have learned how to identify a verb, then we learned how to identify a noun. Following that lesson we learned how to identify adjectives, and now we're learning adverbs. Those four words are all part of the open word class, and that is because every year we add new words to the dictionary that could be verbs, nouns, adjectives and adverbs. Now adverbs, I think, are the most challenging out of all four to identify. So it's better to do those lessons, like I've said, in order, because the skill of finding an adverb depends on understanding what a verb is and what an adjective is. Let's have a go. So adverbs, what they do is they add to verbs, but they also add information and modify adjectives. And other adverbs too. There are 5 types. Now in Key Stage 2 you don't need to identify which type of adverb is being used. However, to understand what I'm about to say next will help you identify them. So adverbs can tell you the manner. That means how something is done. They can tell you the time, when something is done. They can tell you the place, where something is done. They can tell you the frequency, and that means how often something is done. And finally, they can tell you the degree. The degree means the intensity. That's a tricky word, so let me give you examples. Too, enough, very, extremely. These words are all adverbs and they are the degree type of adverb. When you're trying to identify an adverb, I have a few steps for you to follow. Read the sentence first. Find the verb or any adjectives, because remember adverbs can help us know more about an adjective. Then ask yourself, does anything tell us more about these? So the verb and the adjective. Do we have other information in the sentence that's helping us understand more about the verb or the adjectives or other adverbs being used? And if you do, then you've found an adverb. Let's have a look at an example. And this is what Zephyr says to Marmalady when Zephyr has found Marmalady what she hopes will be a loving home for her and her 10 kittens. She says to the cat, "Take your kittens and mew sweetly at the door." And that's why these have been used. They're called inverted commas or speech marks, and we'll have a lesson about those later. So we've read the sentence and then we have to find the verb. Now go back to the lesson on how to find a verb if you look at this sentence and you can't find it now. But our verbs are take your kittens and mew sweetly at the door. So we have 2 verbs that are being used. So we've found the verb. So now we say, does anything tell us more about them? Nothing tells us how she should take the kittens, but something tells us how she should mew. She should mew sweetly at the door. So sweetly is our adverb. It tells us more, it modifies the word mew, so we understand exactly how Marmalady should mew in the sentence. We don't have any adjectives here, so we don't need to ask the question, what information is being added to the adjective? I think we should have a practice together first. What do you think? It's a good idea, isn't it? Right, so let's have a go. Reading the sentence is our first step. He braked so heavily. He braked. Find the verb. So the verb is braked. Is there anything that's telling us more about how he braked? Yes, look, these words. So heavily. So heavily are our adverbs. Here we are, they are our adverbs. Let's rub out the verb because today we're looking for adverbs and we're using the verb to help us find the adverb. Let's try it with a second sentence. He probably needs Marmalady more than she needs him. So we've got another sentence here. What do we do first? Well done, we find the verb. And the verb is needs, from the verb to need. And look, it's used twice. Is there anything that tells us more about how the he needs? This word, probably. Look, he probably needs. Probably tells us more about how he needs. So probably is our adverb. Let's take off our verb because we're identifying adverbs today, but we're using our verb to help us. Now those two words end in ly. And you might be thinking, well, I've cracked this. All words that end in ly are adverbs. Or every ly word I see must be an adverb. But that's not true. And this is why adverbs can be more complicated than that. Let's have a look. Zephyr watched in horror. There's no ly word there. Let's find the verb. Let's go back to our steps. Well, watched is our verb. And now we say, how? How did Zephyr watch? Is there more information about the verb and how it's being done? Yes, look. She watched in horror. So in horror is our adverb. It tells us how she watched. Why don't you have a go at the activity now and remember, read the sentence first, find your verb and then ask yourself, is there anything that's telling us more about the verb? And then you'll find your adverbs. Good luck everyone. Time for the activity. Read each sentence carefully and look for the adverb using the toolkit we've discussed earlier. Good luck everyone! So how did you get on? In the first sentence, the adverb was gently and that described how the dog picked the kitten up. In the second sentence, the adverb was flat and that described how the fur fell. And finally, the adverb was every day in the third sentence and that describes when Zephyr goes for a walk. I'm going to show you some sentences now with pictures and I would like you to add your own adverb. This sentence is, in the wind, Zephyr's ears flap. Try to add another adverb to describe how Zephyr's ears flap. In the wind has already been used as an adverbial phrase to show when they flap. Struggling, describe how Zephyr's struggling. Zephyr tried, describe how she tried, but she just couldn't get the stick through the gate. Struggling, Zephyr tried, but she just couldn't get the stick through the gate. Which adverbs would fit well here? Now make a whole sentence up of your own based on what Zephyr is doing in this picture. Remember to use an adverb. So finally, to recap, remember, verbs tell us the manner, time, place, frequency and degree of how something has happened. To find them, we read the sentence, we look for verbs and adjectives and any words that tell us more about them. Those will be your adverbs. Well done everyone, you've worked really hard today. Now it's time for Zephyr's Learning Lab. What's in your Learning Lab today, Zephyr? Oh, look, you can find 10 adverbs in your reading book. You can make a bridge out of newspaper that can hold a packet of sugar. Using a dice, play against someone by rolling it 4 times each and putting each number after each throw in a place value column. Then you can find out who can make the biggest number. And finally, why not create a piece of artwork from the nature around you? Then find out about Andy Goldsworthy, who does exactly the same.